Welcome to this video on the pivot step in Tableau Prep. You can download the dataset and packaged flow file underneath the video to follow along in your own copy of Tableau Prep. We're working with weekly data for best-selling books. If your data has multiple fields for the same attribute, or if there is unique information stored in the field name, such as the fact that a given book is on the hardcover nonfiction bestseller list, your data may need to be pivoted. In our example, we have a week's worth of bestseller data that has multiple fields all containing the same type of information about best-selling books. Additionally, the field names are the bestseller lists. To analyze this data effectively, we need to pivot it so that we have a column for book information and a column for bestseller list. To get started with a pivot, we need to add a pivot step. Click the plus on the previous step and select Add Pivot. A new pane opens below, allowing us to configure the pivot. On the left, we see the list of fields in the data source. In the middle, we have a drop area for Pivot 1 values. And to the far right, we'll see the pivot results displayed similarly to the profile pane and data grid. Let's think about what the pivot should be. Each of these fields, other than rank, contains the same type of information about each best-selling book, and the names of the fields themselves should be their own column of information. We'll multi-select everything but rank and bring all these fields to the drop area. In the results area, we can see two new fields, Pivot 1 Names, containing the names of the original fields, and Pivot 1 Values, containing the values of the original fields. We can rename these to List and Info. If we want to add a column to the pivot, we simply drag it in. But it doesn't make sense to include rank in a column with information like title, so we'll remove this field by dragging it back out. Tableau Prep is smart enough to realize if there's a shared value in all the members of a new field, it can rename the field for us. If we ever don't want this feature to come on when applicable, we can simply uncheck the box. We have another data set that is structured differently. Here, there are two columns of data per bestseller list, one for author and one for title. Ideally, we would have a column for bestseller list, a column for authors, and a column for titles. To achieve this structure, we want to perform coordinated pivots, or pivot multiple groups at the same time. We'll add a pivot step, and to start, simply select the fields that should be a single field. We'll pick all the author fields, and bring them to the Pivot 1 Values drop area. Next, we'll click the plus to the right of the Pivot 1 Values header. This adds another Pivot Values drop area. Multi-select the title fields and bring them over. We'll add a clean step. And now we can see that our data is structured exactly as desired. A field for title, bestseller list, and author. And of course, we still have the rank field. Thank you for watching this video on pivoting in Tableau Prep. We invite you to continue with the free training videos to learn more about using Tableau.